right, so back out on Saturday. And that part over there is pretty much done. So for a couple brush piles I gotta mulch down. And this is today's project. I don't know whose dog that is, but hopefully he'll get out of here. So we're gonna be taking out this whole line right here. About 10 yards in, just getting whatever we can, getting all this cut down. We're just gonna try to leave the wax myrtles and some of the other stuff. I don't know what these are, but the owner wants them gone, and then any gum trees I can get about 10 yards in or so. That's what we're gonna take down. We're gonna go a good ways down, probably at least past that little telephone thing there. So we're gonna go a good ways down and clear all this out. So got the skid steer, and I'm gonna just work it from this direction in and just go in like that. The ground's pretty soft. If I went in going this way, it would just make a mess, and all this stuff would probably end up getting blown out onto the driveway, and I'd just be rutting all of that up the whole way down, backing up and all that stuff. So it's easier for me just to come in from this way and just work my way down, and then everything, you know, that gets cut can just mostly blow out back that way and make a little bit better finished job. So I won't have too much to clean up to do on this driveway. There might be some mud and stuff, but I can't do anything about that. So all right, let's hop in the machine and get going. And just two other things I want to talk about real quick. So I've got the MTL XCT out here with the these new Stingray blades. Holy moly, man, these things are awesome. I put a little sharpened edge on these yesterday morning before I even got started cutting. I cut about 6 hours with these things yesterday, 6-7 hours, and they don't even look worn. I mean, that edge isn't even dull. If these were the old AR400 blades, I would have had to sharpen these at least once, maybe twice yesterday. They don't even look like they've been used hardly as far as the edge goes. They don't have a dent or a crack or any kind of wear on them. And I put them in the dirt a pretty good bit, and they look awesome. I'm super happy with these. If you're looking to get one of these brush cutters, either the XCT, XC7, or the XC8T, I would highly suggest these 5160 steel Stingray blades. These things are awesome. Really liking them, and they cut great, and they hold an edge way better than the old AR400 blades, and you're going to get a lot more wear life out of them, and a lot less downtime having to keep them sharp. So highly recommend these. So just want to throw that out there. One other thing, if you saw the last video when I was in here thinning all this out and taking out these gum trees, one thing that's kind of difficult about doing this kind of clearing, and it's a little more tedious, is when you're trying to come in here in really thick vegetation and just selectively take out stuff. It can be very difficult with that machine, with that brush cutter. The reason why is because skid steers are small and compact, and they're very good about working their way in through areas like this. But when you add a 6-foot mowing deck on the front of it, you change the overall length of the machine, and then so your turning radius to be able to turn and move and maneuver through these areas between these trees that you want to save becomes very kind of difficult, tedious. And what happens is it just takes a little more time. And then also when you're trying to back up and process this material, you know, you find it where it's hard to find places to back up, you know, without hitting, you know, backing into a tree, because the trees are just everywhere, because you have to be able to drop the deck and kind of back up and drop the nose to process material down really well. So I mean, you can see there's some areas in here where I just wasn't able to get, where I'm trying to save trees, where I wasn't able to get kind of that finished look because I couldn't get the deck in there to process that stuff down like I'd want to. So may have to come in through here and just kind of touch some things up with the excavator, but it's almost like making a bigger mess than what it is, because all this stuff's just going to rot down anyway in about a year. So it's just the ground's kind of soft and you're just making a rutted mess. So it's like, is it even worth it, you know? So regardless, that's just one thing to think about when you're, you know, a drum mulcher would have been really good in here as well, because a lot doesn't stick out as far from the machine, so you get a little bit better turning radius, and then, you know, you would have been able to take down some of these trees that I couldn't, some of the gums right there that the brush cutter just couldn't handle. So anyway, just thoughts to think about, you know. And the owner knew that I wasn't going to be able to get everything in here as far as some of these larger gums. He knew that. So if we have to take those out by hand, if he wants me to do that, he said for now I haven't been told to do that, but if we, you know, I got the mini here, we can do that. It's not hard. So anyway, just thoughts to think about. Anyway, we're going to get started on this, and we'll do what we can do. All right, well, I got about 5 minutes into cutting and I hit a buried piece of metal. I found a piece of chain, which I'm surprised a piece of chain would do this, but it just mangled these blades, and these are brand new. I feel so bad, but that's kind of the name of the game when you're working out here. on these farms and stuff like that, there's just metal and stuff buried everywhere. Like, you know, in that other spot I was working in the last 2 days, there was fence in there, which I found most of it. But whatever I hit, like I said, the only thing I found was a piece of chain. It mangled these blades bad, which I'm really surprised with whatever I hit. It actually held up pretty well. Luckily, I've got my angle grinder and I've got power. I can try to fix them. But I still recommend these blades. They were holding up very, very well yesterday. I put them in the ground and put them in the dirt, and they didn't wear at all. So if these had been the AR400 blades, I don't know what would have happened. But let's see if we can't take the grinder and fix them, and I'll show you what they look like afterwards, and we'll see what we come up with. Man, they are bad. Just have to do the best we can. This might take me a while. All right, so that seems like the best I can do with it for now. I think they'll still cut. This one isn't too bad. I got it back. The point's a little rounded, but I got it back halfway decent. That one's kind of bad. You can kind of tell bad. This is new. So I think this one is the worst one as far as having deep gouges in it. But I think they'll still get me through with what I need to do. So not all is lost. I'll probably end up just replacing these. I'll call MTL about just getting a new set and just call these a wash. And then I've got the old blades on the old flywheel, and I'll take those and these, and I'm thinking about just putting them on eBay and auctioning them off, and maybe we'll do like a charity thing with them. Find a good charity to donate whatever money I can raise. I'll sign them, and hopefully we'll get some bidders and we can raise some money for a good cause. And so we'll maybe turn this into an opportunity to do some good. So, all right, let's got that fixed good enough as I'm gonna get it, and we'll hop back in the machine, and I'm gonna get that out of there too and get back to work. All right, everybody. So this is not completely done. Just got through talking with the client. There's some stuff laying here, some of these tops. I'm gonna come around, grab them by hand, and just kind of clean up some of the bigger stuff by hand, consolidate it in a couple piles, mulch it down. Did a really good job in here, leaving what he wanted left, like these hollies. We'll walk down. Couldn't get all the gums, but he wasn't too, whoa, look there. There's another top that just fell out. This stuff was just all so close together. I would cut stuff and the tops would get caught up in the top of the trees. And he just wanted to be able to see through here. You know, the issue with the gums wasn't as big a deal in here, but what it was like, as he was explaining to me, this row of stuff, especially those thin little things, when it would, in the spring and summer, it would just like fall over into the driveway and just clog everything up. And he just wanted it cut back, opened up. I got to clean off the driveway, and there's that cedar, and we were able to save. So this was a little tedious. That thing is a hammer, it's not a scalpel, but it would have taken me forever to come through here with the mini and do this with the little 36-inch cutter. So I cut what I could, and I asked him, I told him, I said, I'll come through here with the mini if you want me to, but as a matter of fact, the client actually has a Takeuchi TB235-2 on order right now, and it's coming with a Rut Manufacturing brush cutting head. I don't know which one. I know they make several. I'm not sure exactly which one he ordered. I think it's a 36-inch. So he's going to come in here and kind of clean out between some of these tighter areas that I couldn't get, and clean that up. I said, so that'd be perfect practice for you to come in here and do that. So he's going to come in and clean that up. But for the most part, we opened this up. There was a couple tight little areas in here, but it was funny, like the ground would be good and something like it's good there, and then I'd get over here and then it became wet. You know, down here it was a real mess with how wet it was, and it just kind of got sloppy. But there wasn't any more other way to do this but to kind of come in through here, because you couldn't come this way in a lot of areas. There were just too many big trees to work your way this way, and you'd have blown everything out here on the driveway. I got some mud out here, but there's really not a whole lot of mulch and debris and stuff as far as the tree stuff out here on the driveway, which I'm really happy about. So the rough stuff's done, and then the client will kind of fine tune it with his machine. The bigger stuff is done. That was a hole in there I really couldn't get into, because we were trying to save these wax myrtles and these pines, but you know, I couldn't get the head in there and get that, like that gum, without destroying that pine or destroying the wax myrtle. So it just kind of became a thing to just get what I could and leave what I couldn't, you know. Best to cut not enough and get it by hand than cut too much and have somebody mad at you that you cut something that you shouldn't have cut. So so that's kind of where we're at. Even after the blades got mangled and I sharpened them up, they still worked fine, worked great. I'm really surprised with that, and honestly they don't look like they even wore that much after I sharpened them or fixed them. I guess they're like serrated blades now. That's the serrated version. So all right, I'm gonna grab the blower. I'm gonna clean up this driveway. I have to get the shovel too and just fix it as best I can. I may bring the mini through here tomorrow too and just kind of tamp down some of these ruts and stuff too with the bucket. We'll see. And then I got some mulch piles, some piles of stuff to mulch down. I'm gonna film that. That's gonna be interesting. So we'll do that tomorrow. And all right, beautiful Saturday, absolutely gorgeous. We need this nice weather. It's gonna rain a good bit next week. So all right guys, well, I hope you guys are having a great weekend, enjoying yourself wherever you're at. Hope you're enjoying the content, and I'll check you guys later.